Welcome back to my lesson today. My name is joellukamasia, Music Theory Triads Inversion. Now, if you've not watched my previous lessons, please, I kindly ask you to watch them so that we can be on the same page. Definition. An inversion of a triad is rewriting a triad with a note other than the root in the lowest voice part. So inversion is rewriting the triad with a note other than the root on the voice part. Types of triads inversions. We have root position, first inversion, second inversion. Note. The note written in the lowest part is used in the identification of the musical position of a triad. So you'll be able to know the notes on the bass part is the one that's going to tell you which inversion are we dealing with on a triad. Root position. We had talked about how to construct a root position in my previous lessons. Now, a root position has the lowest voice part as the root, then the middle part as the third, and the higher voice part as the fifth. A triad root position is indicated using A or 3-5. 3-5 simply means that the third, from the root to the third is a third, then from the root to the fifth is a fifth. For example, an example in root position, let us use a triad in C, the tonic triad in C. You notice that the C is the root. From C to E is a third, so the third is in the third position, and then the fifth is the fifth position. So when having a triad that has the root as the root, the triad becomes a triad in root position. So we're having, for example, this is a tonic triad in C major in root position. First inversions. Now, first inversion triad. A first inversion triad voice part is written on the staff. Written on the staff is the third of the triad. In the first inversion, the lowest voice part of the triad, the lowest voice part of the triad of the first inversion is always the third. Is then followed by the fifth. Then the root comes above the fifth. So this means that the root comes an octave higher from the original position in the root position. A first inversion triad is sometimes indicated using small letter B or 3-6. This means that the root is the sixth above the third written in the lowest voice part. So the root is a sixth above the third that is written in the voice part. Remember, the third is telling us this triad is in the root position. Now, when you look at the image here, you notice that this was the triad in root position before inversion, and this is the triad now inverted. We are now dealing with the triad in C major, G, triad on G. This is the dominant triad, G. Now you'll notice that in root position, in first inversion, the third here, the third that was here becomes the bass note, not the root, the bass note. The third becomes the bass note. Then you notice that the fifth becomes the second note, becomes the fifth, becomes like the third. Then we have the root moves an octave higher. The root that was G from here moves an octave higher to the upper G. So it becomes a first inversion. When using this triad, for example, let us consider it being on the treble clef. This is the second triad, D minor. Now, for example, here it's in the root position. For it to become a triad in first inversion, you'll have to take the root an octave higher. Now, if you take the root an octave higher, it comes here and it becomes now a triad in first inversion. Now, let us talk about triad in second inversion. The lowest voice part written on the staff is the fifth of the triad. Now, in second inversion, the lowest voice part, the bass note, becomes the fifth. The fifth becomes the lowest voice part. Then it's followed by the root that was inverted in first inversion, if you remember. Then the third. Now the third moves an octave higher. The third moves an octave higher from the original position. Second inversion triad is sometimes indicated by the small letter C or 4-6. 4/6 means that the third is a sixth above the fifth written in the lowest voice part, and the root is the fourth above the fifth. Now an example of a triad in second inversion. Now here is an example of a triad in root position. In first inversion, the root will move an octave higher here. Then the third becomes the bass note, then this one becomes the fifth, then the root. In second inversion, you now invert the first inversion by taking the third moving an octave higher. Now when the third moves an octave higher, you will start by the lower note becoming the fifth, then the root, then the third. Thank you so much for watching this video. Kindly subscribe to my channel and also leave a comment. You can also inbox me directly on my email that I'll leave on my description. Let us meet during the next lesson.